So, is it too late for a late season break over here in Sa? Well, in this video we're going to find out. I'm filming this just as we've passed mid-October. We're going to take a walk through the resorts, we're going to see what's open, and I hope that it's going to allow you to plan for next year. So as you know, if you have been following the channel, I have mentioned that there have been some great bargains for the end of the holiday season, but is it worth coming out at this time of year? Well, let's turn the camera around and let's find out. So you can see where I am. I'm over in this very beautiful and picturesque boatyard on the far end of Sa. Look, all the little traditional Mallorquin boats here. And I really do love this resort because it is just so beautiful, and we're going to see why today in this video. Now I'm filming this on a Sunday. We've got quite a few residents out today, but just check out the colour of the sea from over here. We can't see very many boats that have gone out today actually, because we do have slightly windy sea conditions. But look at this, look. So the last time I was over here in Sa, I filmed a live stream about a month ago, and we had really grey and a little bit of miserable rainy weather at that time, so I couldn't give you the opportunity to see what it was like over here. And my goodness, look, just check out in front of me. I think we've got a scuba diver or a snorkeler. There's somebody in the water anyway. But look how lovely it is in October, and we have been very lucky to be blessed with some lovely weather after some storms that we've had earlier on this month. So while we've got largely a sunny day here, look, just tilting the camera up, you can see we do have a little bit of a cloudy sky as well. We do have a few clouds rolling in. Let's head on down and take a look at Sa in October. Let's see if everything is still open and what you can expect if you're hoping to take advantage of a late season break over here, particularly for 2026. So this has to be one of the smallest club nauticos that we have in the resorts. I mean, this is a lovely little holiday resort, but it still has this very traditional feel. You don't get any big super yachts down here, not in this little club nautico. But one thing that Sa is famed for is its affordability and its great restaurants. Not to mention one of the prettiest of beaches on the island. I mean, just look at this, look at the views looking out over Sa today. And right in front of me I can see quite a busy restaurant. Now, like I said, it is a Sunday, and some of these restaurants here, look, this is absolutely packed. I'm not sure if you can tell with the light, but it is very, very busy. Well, let's head on down to this wonderful lookout point here, and just panning camera to my right hand side. You can see some of the big hotels in Sa Coma right up in front of me. Subscribe to the channel. If I have time to get down there today, I will do. But there's another reason that I'm over here in Sa, and that's to go and take a look at the bridge which joins Sa to Sa Coma, and it's a main access point here. And I know it's going to be very important for many viewers watching this to know that this is going to be fixed in time for 2026. But before that, let's take a closer look at this resort. Now, I think we already have a hotel closed over here for this season, and that is the Hotel Colombo. Look, right in front of me here, just looking over at the dining room. It's a 3-star hotel, and it has been closed up, including the little restaurant right next door as well. It's all been packed away for the winter, which is such a shame. Or has it? Because just looking up here, look, you can see we've got clothes on the balcony. Are some of these rooms privately let? I don't know. Or is the hotel still open? Let's have a quick look around the side. But look, they've painted out the dining room here, which is normally what they do actually when the hotel is no longer open. Maybe they've got private apartments here. Let's just have a quick look around the front. I mean, it can't look very open. You can't have boards up on an open hotel. And yes, it is closed, it's very, very closed. But like I said, I do wonder, either holidaymakers have been left trapped in this hotel for the winter, and we won't see them again until next year. But anyway, come on, let's keep on heading through the resort. So at this time of year, this far end of the resort here plunges into the shade. We're looking at, the time is currently 3:30, so you can see there's going to be absolutely no point renting a sunbed or a beach bed on this side of the resort at this time of year. You will not get your money's worth. And with only 23 degrees today, well, you're not particularly going to need that shade. But look, coming along the waterfront here, most of the restaurants here are still open. They're not looking particularly busy, but there are a few people out and about today. It's just looking back from the direction that I've come from, look, everything's open at 57 Tapas and Cocktails. The 57 pub, that is open, as is, look, this little tapas place on the corner. Don't forget, if you're over here too, look, we've got this little side street down here, down the side of Sea Yacht. Go back and check my previous videos from here. But there is a little Yuroski supermarket here as well. If you are self-catering or you want to go and pick up some supplies, there's a tiny little Yuroski supermarket. Look, you've got a nice little tapas place here on the corner as well. A few people inside, a few people having a Sunday lunch. But it's looking like we really are beyond the peak season, and like I said, we are now in the shoulder season here, but this does look just lovely. It does look really, really nice, especially set against the blue sky that we've had today. Anyway, let's keep on heading along the beach and let's see what else you can expect over here in Sea Yacht at this time of year. So unfortunately, we're starting to see the first signs of some major places closing over here in Sea Yacht. We've got the Prohibition Bar, which is normally quite a striking force on the seafront here. This has closed for the season. And while the sunbeds and the beach umbrellas are starting to thin out a little bit, look, we haven't got the huge swathe of them that we normally find along the beach during the summer months. They have started picking a few up and take them away. I don't know whether you've seen my video from over in Porto Poyensa, but the tractors were out just a week ago actually, and they were starting to collect those and just leave a few on the beach. But look, even this side of the beach here, look, it does fall into the shade mid-afternoon. But that's not to say that there's lots open over here, because look, we've got the ice cream shop, we've got the beach bar down here as well, look. It's all pretty much open, look, as we roll on towards the end of October. Now on a sunny day, Sea Yacht is just absolutely lovely. And I know some holidaymakers will have been over here on the week that we had terrible weather. We very rarely get an entire week of not very nice weather. So if you were one of those holidaymakers, I hope you managed to have a good time in spite of the weather. But look, everything over here is looking like it's trying to stay open here. And I think we do have enough visitors to warrant bars and restaurants staying open. Obviously not the very big places, but look, we've got plenty of shops over here that are still open for this late season break. Now you're going to notice some people wearing summer wear in this video. You're going to see some people wearing jeans and autumn wear as well. People wearing the autumn wear are going to be locals and residents, and of course everyone in beach wear are going to most likely be holiday makers. Okay, so as we come around the corner here, we are on our way to the bridge, and we can just see, actually, you can see the bridge in the background. We're going to go and check out at what stage of repair that is at. But what a relaxing atmosphere we have in Sea Yacht this afternoon. This is by no means a big party area. It's very much a family area. It's an area which is ideal for holidaymakers of all ages. If you're after a kind of a chilled out break. And look, there's no packed beaches at this time of year. It is absolutely gorgeous, you've got to admit. It really is lovely. And particularly good as well if you're not really wanting to holiday over here when we have the very, very high temperatures. And well, you would have heard me moaning about that in July and August, so a little bit different for this time of year. I'm just walking around here, look, to the Playa Moreo Hotel. This is looking still open as well. I can see several room doors are open. I can see the front of it is open too, and it hasn't been painted out. Unfortunately, look, the little ice cream place right in front of it has been closed. What a shame. Maybe they don't have quite as many guests over here this month to warrant staying open. But let's go and take a quick look at the bridge. Now, the Monday after I'd filmed my live stream from over here, or was it the Tuesday after, they did start work on the repairs, and they have curtained it off really, but the changes here are going to be quite considerable, and I think they're actually dismantling the whole bridge. I mean, take a look at this. Check this out, look. Just panning the camera around here, you can see the main central section of the bridge has actually been removed. Looks like they're going to take the whole thing down and maybe rebuild it, or just rebuild it bit by bit, who knows. But this really does need to be done by 2026. We can't have things like the way that they were this summer for next year. It's just not great, because as you can see at the moment, the only way you can get from this side of the resort to the other side is either walking around the pathway which runs around the back of the resort here, or down here on the little boardwalk. And you can see that while the boardwalk is kind of fine and okay on this side, a little bit further along we're going to find that there are steps heading up, which is just no good if you're in a wheelchair. It's just no good if you're visiting or if you have mobility issues, which is why I hope that they're really going to get to work with this huge project over the winter. Look at this middle section here that's been taken out. It's huge, but this does need fixing, because I think many travellers coming over here next year in 2026, we're going to have quite a lengthy trip through Palma Airport now, particularly if you're coming over from the UK. Travel is going to be a little bit more challenging. The one thing you do not want is a challenging stay when you're actually in the resorts. You want a seamless stay, and you want this bridge to be up and running. Now, this work has been the responsibility of two municipalities. We've got one municipality on one side and one on the other. And look, check this out. About 10 days or so ago, we had huge storms over here in Mallorca, and with that I think it's taken out a big chunk of the boardwalk, so even if you did have mobility issues, you'd only be able to use half of it. A lot of the water drains out from this area through this huge torrent, and for that reason much of this boardwalk has now been washed away. But look, I know it's only 4 steps at the end here, but this does make the difference as to whether you can get through here or not if you're in a wheelchair. So what else have we got here? Well, we've got a safari bike parked up. That hasn't been able to go any further, but we see another hotel closure over here. But the Hotel Paymar is closed for summer 2025. Look, all the windows have been whited out, the fences have been put up. In my opinion, it's quite a depressing sight actually, to see hotels and to see businesses having to close before the 31st of October, before the end of the official holiday season. But as we keep heading along here, look, we do have plenty open. We've got a bakery still open, look, we've got some shops here, and let's hope we've got some good news as we go a little bit further through Sea Yacht today. We've got some other businesses open. I'm guessing at this time of year is really the big hotels that are struggling to stay open, and in spite of there being reports of hard times in Mallorca's restaurants for this summer, as we come up to the Cala Morea Pizzeria Restaurante, we can see a few people out today having Sunday lunch. And look, you can see we're approaching Halloween season here. Decorations out already for that. And there are going to be various Halloween celebrations for those really late breakers staying on until the 31st of October. I don't think there'll be so many people on this side of the island doing that, but I'm sure some places will have a few Halloween bits and bobs and events taking place in the bar and restaurants too. Anyway, let's take a walk past the Bibaboo. Tell me where you would be eating today if you were over here in Sea Yacht in the comments below. Where's your favourite place to eat? And that's a question to any of the regulars that I have watching the channel. And I always say this, but look, from the restaurants that we have over on this side of the island, look at the views. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, you've got to admit, it is absolutely stunning. And this is how you can see some locals spending a Sunday. Look, got some fishing rods out on the point here too. And just across the way here, look, you can see the safari bike rental place. You can see the little buggies as well. For rent, lots of kids things here. Great for a half-term break. And look, we're just coming up here to the Mim Mallorca hotel. I do believe this has been taken over by the Meliá chain. I think they're going to be selling from it at least. Did read something about that. But I think this is also closed for the season because there's nobody around the swimming pool today. But there's music coming from the inside. Do you know what? I don't think it is closed. Now, I'm very surprised to see this hotel this empty at this time of year. I mean, we're just past mid-October here. I mean, this is a beautiful area. Look at this. Really, really nice hotel. Yet completely empty. Let's head on back down to the waterfront. Now, it could also be the case that the final guests are departing today. That could well also be the case. Weekends tend to be changeover day, and look, the curtains haven't actually opened over here. Look, in the main dining area. I suspect it's possibly closed for the season, or it's closing down for the season today. Anyway, let's keep walking through this area. Now, don't forget, in this resort we do have the Taliotic ruins that you can go and explore as well. Go and take a look at that. There's a little bit of history. I'm not going over there today, but you can go and see it in one of my previous videos, and I will drop a link to that in the description text below. Just coming up past a few other lovely bars and restaurants here. Got a few people in them, and in the distance I can see one of the catamarans here docking. So boat trips are still running at this time of year, and yes, it's the glass bottom boat catamaran which runs up and down the coast here from illot, Sa Coma, Calamilor and Calabona. Plus we've also got, and you can probably hear them as well, look, we've got more safari bikes here, and these little kids buggies too. So not all hotels that have closed, and we can see right behind me some of the really huge hotels. We are right outside of the Playa Dorado apart hotel here. You can just see the entrance in. In fact, well, it's not very busy and there is an open gate. Let's go and have a very quick look. And it's, well, look, you can see the huge entertainment area to my right hand side. Just panning the camera around here, look, you can see the swimming pool. It's looking rather nice in here. It's a huge complex. I suspect they do have great evening entertainment, but we won't go much further in. Let's head on out. But look, we've got this little shopping centre here. We're just coming up to this little shopping centre. How much of this stays open over the winter, I do not know. I suspect much of it will be closing at the end of the season. Who knows? So I've just been told that these shops here all close on the 31st of October, right for the end of the season. So I think Illot is going to take a very, very different look over the winter, and I don't think I've actually filmed over here during the winter, not a complete resort walk around. So we might come down here maybe in January, maybe in February. We'll come and take a look at it, particularly if you're a regular and you want to see what it's like out of season. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already to catch that video. Okay, so as I wander into the very lovely Sa Coma, I think we're going to take a quick look at this resort, but I will drop this into another video. So in the meantime, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. As I have said, this video will be coming out soon. Find out what it's like over here in Sa Coma at the end of the season. In the meantime, don't forget you can find me on the Facebook group and on Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.